platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold on! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
We started with small beginnings. And just like the visionary entrepreneurs we serve, we turned an idea into reality. Today, we give you the power to grow your ideas by building meaningful relationships in the communities we serve. Because it's the same place we started. BNC National Bank, where possibilities begin right here at home.
One thing that I've always enjoyed about being a physician is just the patient and physician relationship.
Part of why I trusted him is because I felt more than just a patient.
We figured out the best situation for my injury, and we chose the one that would best fit me.
I'm a huge sports fan, have been my whole life and still am today. I have a strong desire to help people maintain their activity levels and to get back to doing the things that they are passionate about.
Our initial reaction when we realized he had 2 broken bones was fear. Then once we realized and got a plan with Trinity and our doctor, a lot of comfort.
He told me that he can fix my arm, and he showed me a lot of stuff that he could do to help me.
Trinity Health Orthopedics is as good as you can find anywhere in the country. A lot of us take pride in that, and that's why we stay here and we keep doing what we do.
Trinity Health, making more possible.
Welcome in here to the PSP Network. I'm Brock Widener joining you at Dickinson Trinity High School. And we have got some fun Class A hoops coming your way here tonight. Beulah receiving votes in the Class A polls. They take on the home team, the Dickinson Trinity Titans. Some Region 4 hoops here in Class A. 2 teams that are in that, we're in the preseason, we're in that top echelon of the hoopster. When they asked the coaches, these 2 teams were both in the top half, projected to finish in the top half of the region. I think this one is going to be a very fun contest in store. But before we get into it, I welcome you in to the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your locally owned oil change headquarters. 25 years, Lundeen's, taking care of people. Local actually matters. Not to mention this oil change, stay in your car, drive-through oil change, typically performed in 15 minutes or less. You can find them in Minot and in Bismarck. It's Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Well, taking a look, jumping right into these Class A polls, Week 5 media polls, and there's a lot of moving and a lot of shaking after the team that was number 1 for much of the season, Devils Lake, fell and dropped 2 games, and that put them from 1st all the way to 5th, and that opened the door for Kindred to be the new number 1 team, receiving 13 first-place votes this week, 3-0 record. 4 wins, Milwaukee 5-1, Central Cass coming up at 3. It was a nice week there for 4 wins, who moves up 2 spots, and also for 4 wins, they recently beat both these 2 teams that we'll see today in Trinity and Beulah. Wahpeton moves up 1 spot to 4. Again, as we mentioned, Devils Lake down 4 spots. And then receiving votes, well, kind of the whole Region 4 there. Killdeer, Shiloh, Beulah, all in the receiving votes category. Beulah, much of the season, was ranked number 2, but they fell to Devils Lake, who was number 1 at the time, as well as now the current number 2 team, 4 wins, and those 2 games were very close, and we'll get to that here in a second. But overall, a lot of great teams here in Class A. I'm excited to see when you get down to it, because usually maybe you get 3, 4 teams that are capable of winning it all. This year, I think the deck is stacked where I think you could get maybe 8, 9 different teams, maybe a few that are going to be sitting at home that could really have a good chance of winning it this year. So I think this is going to be a very fun season of Class A basketball. As we mentioned again here in this one, Beulah, they, as you see on your screen, 3-2 with wins this year against Turtle Mountain, who is projected to kind of win their region. They also will beat Newtown and Rugby for losing at MSU at the Dale Brown Hoopster Classic to Devils Lake, and 4 wins. They lost to Devils Lake 51-55, and then they lost to 4 wins the day after, 52-55. So 2 very close games that just went away from Beulah's favor and moved them from 2nd in the polls to the quote-unquote 9th team in the poll situation there. For Dickinson Trinity, they are 2-3. They lost their first 3 games on the season. Played Double A St. Mary's, lost to them 45-59 before falling to a fellow Region 4 opponent, Shiloh Christian, in a close one, 54-60. Then, like Beulah, they lost to Four Winds Minnewacan at Minot State, 43-63 over the holiday season. For rebounding and picking up a win against the Rugby Panthers, 47-37. Trinity, though, has played a game in the new year. Beulah has not. They played on January 3rd here in Trinity High School and defeated Rapid City Christian 57-54. And I saw the Trinity Titans were very excited about that win, a big part because they lost a couple back-to-back years to Rapid City Christian. They thought it was nice for them to end up finding a way around that squad and beat them 57-54 on January 3rd. More to come on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show, and we continue on here in the Queen City.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private individual cremation. One pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
Our initial reaction when we realized he had 2 broken bones was fear. Then once we realized and got a plan with Trinity and our doctor, a lot of comfort.
He told me that he can fix my arm, and he showed me a lot of stuff that he could do to help me.
Trinity Health Orthopedics is as good as you can find anywhere in the country. A lot of us take pride in that, and that's why we stay here and we keep doing what we do.
Trinity Health, making more possible.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Breathe in. I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There are some things in life we can't control, but what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Welcome back in here to the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pre-game show. I'm Brock Widener, joining you here from Dickinson Trinity High School as the Dickinson Trinity Titans host the Receiving Votes Beulah Miners. As we talked a little bit about these two teams, of how they've got to the records they have so far, well, let's start going a little bit more in depth, and we'll start talking out with the team on the road, and they brought a lot of fans from the Beulah area. The Beulah Miners, 3-2, again Receiving Votes, stood at second in the polls much of the year, but then fell right before the new year to Devil's Lake, who's number 1 at the time, 51-55, and then fell to Four Winds Minnewacan, 52-55. And in that game, we're kind of going into talking about that game. Beulah had a chance there. They were leading late in that matchup, but Beulah got hot at the right time and came away with some clutch steals, did Four Winds, and got the win there, 55-52. But start talking about players to watch tonight, and let's talk about Beulah's Braylon Sherrado, the 6'1 senior guard, those are his stats on the season. Quite impressive. 19 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 3.4 assists per game, and he almost gets 2 steals per game as well for the Beulah Miners. Last year, he averaged 24 points, 5 rebounds per game, and had 94 three-pointers. He was an All-State first-teamer last year, an All-Region 4 player. He surpassed 1,000 points. Braylon Sherrato, he is always fun to watch. Against 4 wins last time out, 14 points, 2 three-pointers, and he was perfect at the charity stripe, a perfect 4 for 4. So Braylon Sherrato going to be a fun player to watch, but he's not the only player to watch. This is a very exciting starting 5. There's a good reason why they are picked to win the region. There was a good reason why they were sitting number 2 in the polls much of the year. This starting 5 is absolutely electric and as good as they come. You started off again with that focal point. Braylon Sherrato, the senior. Then you look at little brother Benny Sherrato, 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists per game. He is fearless, and he's just so creative. A little bit on that smaller end at 5'10", but he is just so creative away how he creates space, does Benny Sherrato. So you got the 2 Sherrato brothers. They're joined by Shane Smith, who's going to be in that starting lineup, a senior guard, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists per game. And then you got another young gun in there. The freshman, Philip Widener, 9 points, 11 rebounds. This was a team that struggled a little bit with rebounding last year. That was kind of their thing of, hey, we need to change, need to get better at that, and Widener did just that. Last year averaged 7 rebounds as an 8th grader. This year averaging 11 rebounds as a freshman. And, hey, they needed a rebound. A 6'7" center lands in their lap during the offseason. Bennett Larson comes back to Beulah after spending the last 2 years at Stanley. Last year averaged 15 points, 9 rebounds for the Blue Jays, who were always fun to watch. Now he's here at Beulah, averaging 11 points, 5 rebounds, and is coming off of arguably one of his best performances of the season, where he put up 18 points against a very good 4-wins Minnewacan squad. So that's that starting 5 for Beulah. Very fun, and it's got that good blend as well. 3 seniors, a freshman, and a sophomore. And then you got some young guys coming off the bench as well. For the Dickinson Trinity Titans, our key player to watch, you could pick a couple different ones, but today we're going to go with Landon Note because Landon Note is a little bit on a hot streak. The 6'1" junior guard, 11 points per game, 2 assists per game to start here this early season. But the last 2 games have been really fun to watch for Landon Note. 15 points versus Rapid City Christian on January 3rd. And right before the new year against the Rugby Panthers, 16 points in that victory. He's had 2 really good games, helped his team to 2 wins, and a part to being on that 2-game win streak coming in tonight. We'll also see in that starting lineup that will join Landon Note, Emerson Simiano, the leading scorer for Dickinson Trinity, 13 points, 2 assists per game. He had 6 points against Rugby right before the new year. Then you got Jordan Ham, kind of that Swiss Army knife type player, 4 rebounds, 2 assists per game. Brody Kuntz will see him off the bench, one of their leading scorers. I think he's 3rd on the team right now with 7 points per game, and he comes off the bench. Other players, Brady Holman, he's kind of on a hot streak as well. Back-to-back double-digit performances for him. And then you got the big man, Colton Christensen, averaging 7 rebounds per game, had 8 points against Rugby, and if he can find that offensive potential he has, he can be a really good post player. And I know we talked about our players to watch here tonight. We got Landon Note there of Dickinson Trinity, Braylon Sherrato of Beulah as our X Factors tonight. But the battle I'm really going to be zeroing in on is the one in the paint. 6'7" Bennett Larson against the 6'4" counterpart of Colton Christensen. These 2 guys are very fun to watch in the paint. They bring a little bit different styles as well, but also at the same time play a very similar game as well. So that should be a very fun battle to watch. 23 in blue, 43 in the white and red tonight. Note that in the paint. Should be quite the battle. But Bennett Larson, even though he's the tallest player that we will see tonight on either side, he's not the leading rebounder for Beulah, and that's Philip Widener, and he's kind of the cleanup guy is Philip Widener. Bennett Larson, I think he attracts a lot of traffic because he's 6'7". A lot of players want to try to slow that down and try to slow out his capabilities, and that allows Philip Widener to just kind of soar in and get those rebounds. So it's going to be for the Titans of finding two guys to battle in the paint. You could maybe put up Christensen against Larson, but then who's going to be that guy to try to slow down Philip Widener from getting rebounds? There's a little bit of that height disparity that might be in the Miners' side. Maybe that's going to be Brady Holman. Maybe that's going to be someone else. Jordan Ham might have to step into that role, but either way, should be a fun paint battle. And then for Dickinson Trinity, this is a team that saw a lot of production in the paint against Rugby, and that led to a win right before the new year, 47-37. But in the first half, Trinity just wanted to shoot threes, because that's kind of what Rugby was giving them at the time. And it just was not, and the shots were not falling. And eventually the Titans were able to play that gritty game, play their, again, fundamentally sound defense, as well as starting to get to the fundamentals of offense, and it helped them steer the ship back in the right direction to win that game, 47-37. For the Titans to win this one, they're going to have to be fundamentally sound, because there is just so much talent in that starting five for Beulah that you just need to limit turnovers. You need to make the most of your each and every possession. I would not be surprised if you see Trinity trying to eat up a lot of clock and play that clock battle and wait to the shot clock gets within 10 every time, because you're trying to limit production or limit the opportunity at the times that Beulah touches the ball. You don't want to get into, if you're Trinity, you do not want to get into this scoring track meet with Beulah. That's just not have that winning formula. You want to have this a low game if you want to beat Beulah. For Beulah, again, you just want to play your style, run and gun, have so much talent of the shooting ability of the Sherados, as well as that paint presence of Larson and Widener. So for the Titans, again, make the most of your opportunities, maybe milk some of that clock, but for the most part, just play clean basketball. And for the Miners, get those good looks. I mean, when Bennett Larson is playing that great of a game inside like he did against Four Winds, it opens it up for the Sherados, and it kind of takes it away, and it puts so much presence in the paint, then you kick out to your amazing shooters. So a lot of different strategies are going to be played here today between these two experienced coaches, Brandon Sherrod in his third year, and Greg Grinsteiner, obviously one of the longest tenured coaches in North Dakota, 32nd year as a head coach. He has over 600 wins, so should be a fun chess match that we will see. Two coaches that always seem to pull the right strings at the right time. Well, let's head on over to tonight's national anthem right here on the PSP Network.
Followed by the singing of our national anthem by the THS Girls Ensemble, under the direction of Sandy T.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Good and gracious God, we give you thanks for the gift of this game. Inspire in all of us the spirit of charity and good sportsmanship. Grant these athletes determination and composure. May they show humility and victory and grit when faced with defeat. Keep them free from injury and harm, and grant that by glorifying you in all things, we all may be brought to our heavenly homeland. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, amen. Saint Sebastian, Our Lady of Victory, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Whose rock shall
That was tonight's national anthem here on the PSP Network. Tip-off coming your way in 30 seconds.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Tip-off ready and rocking. Give the win on over to Trinity, and that's a nice momentum win for Colton Christensen over a player that's 3 inches taller than him, and Bennett Larson. Simiano dumps it into Jordan Ham. Ham looking direction of note. Tries to go into Holman, and that's kicked away. Again, tonight's starting lineups, as we talked about a little bit earlier, for Beulah, Benny Sherrato and Braylon Sherrato, the Sherrato boys, who'll be joined by Shane Schmidt, Bennett Larson, and Philip Widener into the starting lineup for Beulah. Trinity, it's Emerson Simiano, Jordan Ham, Brady Holman, Landon Note, and the center, Colton Christensen. Ham doing the honors on the inbound. He'll lob it to the top. It's intercepted by Braylon Sherrato. They tried to give it to Simiano, but Sherrato says no way. Gives Beulah their first possession of the ballgame. Quick touch by Schmidt back into the hands of the ever-exciting Braylon Sherrato. He's going for 3, and he has got it. Braylon Sherrato, their leading scorer, gets an early 3. Landon Note, he's on a hot streak. They'll work it around to Simiano, their leading scorer for the Titans. A little half spin, bounce pass, Christensen over the outstretched arms of Larson, and Christensen gets the early tick on the paint battle with him and Larson. Step up, Sherrato, he's feeling himself early. A heat check, and he's got it again. Back-to-back 3s for Braylon Sherrato. Well, he was an all-stater for a good reason last year. More than likely going to have his name in that hat again. That conversation. Note the give and go to Simiano on the baseline. Swings it out to Landon Note again. That one poked away by Shane Schmidt. In transition, here's Philip Widener. Left-hand layup, high off the glass, and laying it in is Bennett Larson for 2. That is what Bennett Larson brings to the table after spending the last 2 years in Stanley. Benny Sherrato, foot on the line, a long 2 for Benny Sherrato and the Sherrato boys. Feeling it from downtown. They've got an early 11-2 lead. A timeout. Greg Grinsteiner and the Titans will take one with them. Beulah off to a hot start, led by Braylon Sherrato. 2 3-pointers, and younger brother Benny almost had a 3-pointer, but his foot was on the line right before the timeout taken by the Titans. Beulah's forced turnovers and hit the deep ball. That's why they're up early, 11-2 here in the first 2 minutes of play. Benny Sherrato, lightning in a bottle, spins into the paint, in and out. Hauled in by Jordan Ham. Again, ball security is going to be big for the Titans against an aggressive Beulah team that will make you pay. Christensen near the paint, working against the taller Larson. Almost rattles in. 2-hand rebound by the freshman of Widener. Braylon Sherrato hands it off. The nice little fake handoff there by Larson, not going to go. Larson tried, just a little too heavy on the shot. Note to Simiano in the corner. Battling against the sophomore, Benny Shirato. Lays it in. Holman, bounce pass. Christensen works against Larson. Little fadeaway. Off the back of the rim, into the hands of Shane Schmidt. Goes into a double team. Trinity playing aggressive. Almost works out. Simiano lobs it in. Holman back to Simiano for three. Skips off the rim. Rebounded by Larson. And after a second, Beulah thought they were going to slow down. No, there's no slowing down. It's another three-point try for Shirato. Brushes off the nylon and out of play. And we're getting a couple new Titans in here quickly. As the quarterback on the football field, Brody Kuntz checking in as well. Has got a jersey change here on 44. We'll see if we can get that to you. I know it's not who normally wears the 44, so we'll check that in here in a second. Simiano, nice little spin move, hard off the glass. Kept in. Nice play there by Braylon Shirato. Gives it over to Larson and back to Braylon. As Tayton Jordan will check in next for Beulah. Benny Shirato works to the left, works into a double team, flips it off to Larson. Braylon wanting a screen from Larson, steps in, left wing three, left it short. Simiano lays it in. Landon Note, pump fakes again. Here's a shot just off the mark by Brody Kuntz. He wanted it back, but did not quite get that ball there. Half spin by Simiano. Titans back to Kuntz. Flips it into the direction of Christensen. Normally in the paint, but he was at the right wing. Simiano fakes to the right, zigs to the left, hands it off. Kuntz for three. Not going to work. Not there. Widener rebounds it, flips it on to Braylon Shirato. 11-2. The score has stayed there for a while. Was there for the opening 2 minutes, and since then has stayed for about the last 3 minutes. Scoreless on both sides. As student section getting loud here in Trinity. Larson spins around, lays it in for two. Bennett Larson getting crafty, using his size to his advantage. They go up by double digits for the first time today. Brody Kuntz laying it over to Simiano with the jumper. Emerson Simiano, leading Titans score on the season, 13 points per game, gets his first bucket of the night. Back to single digits, the gap goes. Braylon Shirato to Philip Widener. You don't see him shoot the deep ball much, but you see it there, a long two for Widener. His game is the cleanup man down in the paint, but hey, he said, I'm wide open, I might as well let it fly. And he connects on it. Landon Note back to work, lobs in a pass, flicks off a couple of Miners' hands. Right, though, to Simiano, who's the intended target. Trying to slow things up, Benny Shirato. All effort Shirato there, and he pokes that one loose. Landon Note will check out. Jordan Ham will check in. 15-4 Beulah here in this Region 4 duel. And it was just, again, if you're just joining us, Beulah in that first 2 minutes. Forced turnovers and hit the deep ball. Put them up early. Since the early run, though, offense has slowed down, but they're trying to see if they can heat back up. Brody Kuntz rattles it in. The quarterback nails it for three. Works it in and cuts the lead in half. They'll hand it on to Braylon Shirato. Shirato, step back, Kuntz in his face. Brushes off the nylon. Tried to keep that one in was Ham, but it hits off the back of the boards. As Christensen will check out for the first time today, Holman will check in. Half spin by Larson. Works it into the far corner to Widener. Extra play. Here comes Jordan. Just checked in not too long ago. That one rattles out. Ham in transition. Slows it down. Hands it off to Simiano. Finds Kuntz. He's just hit a three. He's looking for another. Plays it back to Simiano on the Titan T logo at midcourt. Bounce pass, looking for it again. Will get it. Works to the left, spins back around. Back to Brody Kuntz. Kuntz to Simiano. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Free throw line. Jumper over Larson. Almost there, but it's brought down by Widener with 43 seconds. Quick transition. Bennett Larson off the glass for 2. Larson's got 6 points and puts Beulah back up by 10. 1 second separates the shot clock and the game clock. Titans could hold for the last shot, kind of hypothetically there. Theoretically, should I say. They decide to. Right now, they are draining that clock. Jordan Ham hands it on to Simiano. Paint clears. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Simiano calls for the play, works the left, picks up a screen from Holman, hits the Jets, works the baseline. Beautiful work for Simiano as time expires in quarter number 1. Emerson Simiano. That was masterclass clockwork and brings it back to a single-digit gap as we head into quarter number 2 when we return.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak, or can you? Shots Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
At Planning Team Financial Advisors, we help individuals create their personalized strategies. We specialize in financial planning, retirement planning, insurance, and 401k distribution options. Don't leave your future to chance. Call Planning Team Financial Advisors today for a free retirement review. Planning Team Financial Advisors, your plan, your future, your team.
17-9 after quarter number 1. It was a quick start for Beulah. They lead by 8 after a late bucket there for the Titans to get it back to single digits. Hard shot there by Shirato. Comes up empty. Simiano hit that big shot to go back to a single-digit gap right as time expired. Simiano flips it on to Holman. Holman hands it on to Note. Just on the elbow. Swirls out. Last touched by Holman as it makes its way out of play. Just by looking at the last names there on the T-shirts here on the Trinity side, I believe the number 44, wearing number 44 tonight, is Jace Peters. Just a little detective work on the sideline. As flipping it on to Braylon Shirato. Braylon flips it on to Schmidt. Down low to Larson. He's double teamed. Kicks it out. Braylon fakes the pass to younger brother Benny. He drives in, and they've got a foul on the ground. So that's going to be on Landon Note, his first. Don't believe we had a single foul there in quarter number 1. And now here in quarter number 2, we get a quick one on the Titans in the first minute. Benny Shirato said, hey, NBA range, we'll give it a try. That one jams out. Simiano to Holman in the corner. Again, he had a very good Hoopster Classic in Minot. Brody Kuntz, a little step back, battling for the rebounds. Holman cannot quite grab hold of it. Beulah comes out of the pack with it. Braylon Shirato working against Note, flips it on. Here comes Schmidt with a 3. Left it short. Simiano leads the Titans left to right across your screen. Now he'll back up off of the screen. Flips it out to Holman. Quick little bounce pass back to baseline J for Simiano. Brought down 2 hands by Holman. He swatted away by Bennett Larson. As Jace Peters checks back in. There you go, got the confirmation there on the PA. A little bit of the jersey numbers, but yes, indeed, it was Jace Peters. Always fun. That's where the practice jerseys come and help when they got the last names on the back. Then you kind of cross off who's there and who's not. But yes, Peters right there. And here's a quick little jumper for Simiano. Simiano's got 6 points, leading the way for the Titans as they start climbing their way back here against the Region 4 opponent. Checking it the first time today, Chase Hetzler. As Schmidt loses the handle, Peters fights it away. Peters draws a foul on Shane Schmidt, his first. Jace Peters, last year, kind of that physical presence as a freshman, brings it here again on a sophomore year. Grinsteiner likes using him because he getting multiple positions there on the court. One of the taller kids on the Dickinson Trinity team, but can play kind of wherever you need him. Simiano. Is it to Christensen? Now works to the left side to Landon. No, comes off of a screen, but it's a moving screen by Colton Christensen. Christensen gave him just a little bit of the shoulder there to make sure contact was going to be made on that screen and moved into the contact there. That's going to be called probably 9 times out of 10. Give the ball back to Beulah, who was once up by 11, and it's worked its way down to 6 with 5 minutes before halftime as Brody Kuntz was trying to play aggressive there on Shane Schmidt, grabs the jersey. Back-to-back Titan fouls, but that one maybe saved a little bit of a bucket there. Just came up with the miss on the steal and allowed Schmidt to kind of turn around and would have made an easy layup. Larson fakes the handoff, works against Christensen, tries the up and under. Well contested. Great defense by Colton Christensen, and it's going to be also a foul on Philip Widener as well in all the chaos. That's his first. Philip Widener fouled out in their last game against Fort Winds Minnewacan, and they ended up losing in that game. He fouled out in the last couple of minutes. They were up at that point, and the lead disappeared there at the end. Jump ball between Larson and Ham. Ham gives up about 7 inches to Larson. Doesn't matter. He's fun to watch on the football field as Jordan Ham, a fun fullback there for the Titans. Landon Note to Brody Kuntz. Kuntz flips it back to Simiano with 4:30 on the board. Simiano faces a lot of pressure on Schmidt. Now he starts to go and he draws a foul. Again, I don't believe there was a single foul in the first quarter, and now both teams have hit their third here in quarter number 2. Well-attended game on both sides. Beulah fans made the trip. Titan fans in attendance, and you can just feel the intensity as this game continues to move on. Fans getting a little bit more and more into it. Lobbing it up to Larson. Off the glass, rattles in for Bennett Larson. Larson picks up 2. Simiano off a Peter screen, double teamed in the corner. Kicks it out to Note. Right around the free throw line. That one slingshots off the back of the rim into the hands of Braylon Sherrano to Benny. The sophomore brother, the younger brother, nails the 3. Benny Sherrano hits his first 3 and puts Beulah back up in front by double digits, 22-11, 3:45 before the Charbonneau Car Center intermission show. When we return, quarter number 2 continues on.
At Shots Crossroads.
At Planning Team Financial Advisors, we help individuals create their personalized strategies. We specialize in financial planning, retirement planning, insurance, and 401k distribution options. Don't leave your future to chance. Call Planning Team Financial Advisors today for a free retirement review. Planning Team Financial Advisors, your plan, your future, your team.
It's a game of runs. Beulah jumped up early by 11. Trinity gets it down to about 6, and now it's back to an 11-point gap. Trinity calls the timeout, seeing if they can try to work back that gap down once again. Simiano starts that trend right now. A three-pointer for Emerson Simiano. He's got 9 of the Titans' 14. Back to a single-digit gap. Braylon Sherrato, a little step back fadeaway for Braylon Sherrato. He's got 8, a nice move there for the senior. Note, lobs it into Christensen. Chest pass, Simiano. He's feeling it. Back-to-back threes for Emerson Simiano. Simiano's got the touch. He brings it within a touchdown, within 7. But Braylon Sherrato, it's a little bit of whatever you can do, I can do too. Back and forth, those two continue to dance. Trade buckets for buckets. Note, cannot quite hold on to that one. Widener wins it. And that will take away right now the little bit of the battle between Simiano and Braylon Sherrato. But Sherrato right back to work, fires that one hard off the back iron. Simiano's pass to Note is going to be caught by Braylon Sherrato, who's out of bounds. Peters and Ham will check in for Kuntz and Holman for the Titans. Wider checks back in for the Miners as he comes in for Tayton Jordan. 2:13 before halftime. Low pass, Christensen corrals it. Back to Landon Note, corner 3. That is pure for Landon Note, his first three-pointer. His first bucket in general tonight. And again, we continue to dance this way. Beulah up by 11, Trinity brings it within 6. Beulah up by 11, Trinity brings it within 6. It continues to kind of be that way. Happens again, 26-20. Titans trying to work down that gap here before half. Doing a good job of working at it now. Benny Sherrato, a corner 3, in and out, hauled in by Peters. Ham to Note as the Titans race down the court. Now they'll slow things down with Simiano. Picks up a screen from Christensen. Simiano flips it to Peters. Note has an open shot at the left wing. Almost rattles in. Simiano trying to battle for the board, and that's going to be a foul. Foul on the junior guard of Emerson Simiano, his first. Team 4th. As the Titans electing to show some press with $1:18 here in the second quarter. Chase Hetzler checks it off the bench. He'll be the ball carrier here. Flips it into Larson. Fakes the handoff to Sherrato. Larson on the low block. Flips it over to Hetzler. Back to Larson. Larson wanting the ball again. He'll get it, and he draws a foul on Colton Christensen. I believe this is the first free throw we have seen in this entirety of the game, and it comes just a minute left in the first half. And Larson comes up empty-handed on the first one. Bennett Larson was 2 for 6 in their last game against Four Winds right before the new year. Misses his first here tonight. But he gets that one to drop off the backboard, off the back of the rim and in. Back up by a touchdown is Beulah. You go for the old 2 for 1 for the Titans. Trying to get the shot up before 35 seconds, so you're bound to get it again. But it's not quite, is it looking that way? note. Faces some double team, works it to Brody Kuntz. Kuntz now will flee back to the top of the key. Lobs it to Holman. His pass goes nowhere. He tried to work it to Simiano, and now shot clock has turned off for the remainder of the first half. Beulah's going to make sure their entirety of their starting lineup is in, as they'll bring in Schmidt for Hetzler. And see what Coach Brandon Sherrato drives up in his third year. Other Region 4 game there on the bottom of your screen that just passed by. Shiloh Christian leads over Killdeer 40-26. Both of those teams receiving votes just like the Beulah Miners in the latest media poll. A little three-man weave for Beulah. 10 seconds before half. Braylon Sherrato, or Benny Sherrato gets the green light, and he draws a foul on Emerson Simiano. So Benny Sherrato will go and shoot two. They say he is in the act of shooting, so he'll go and shoot two right before the halftime. 5 seconds, 5.6 to be exact. Titans hit one at the buzzer in quarter number one by Simiano to work it into a single-digit gap at that point, as Benny's first free throw is good. He had 10 points in his last game, and he's got 6 here in the first half tonight. Benny Sherrato is perfect 2 for 2 for the young sophomore. 5.6 seconds left before half. Titans seeing if they can come up with a second buzzer beater here. Brody Kuntz, a long three at the horn. Goes off the rim, and that will be it for the first 2 quarters. The first half is done. It sees the Beulah Miners up 29-20 here in this Region 4 clash in the Queen City. 29-20 as we head into the Sherman O'Carr Center halftime show when we return here on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Welcome in for the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. Here at Charbonneau Car Center, they know that drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richardson, Belfield, Wilson, North Dakota, Glendive, Montana work hard, play hard, need a car to keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram lineup at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop into their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. Visit them online, charbonneaumotors.com. Well, as we break down the first half, let's throw it in over for the game highlights. Here in the first half of play, there's a fair amount of them. Let's put on a little bit of that music here as we run through the highlights and run through the game story. But as you see in the first part of this game, it was the Braylon Sherrano show. He scored the first couple of three-pointers. Here you saw one, and here he goes again. Steps into it, nails it after a quite the friendly bounce there for Braylon Sherrano. He leads right now the team in scoring with 10 points and a pair of three-pointers. Had some nice mid-range jumpers as well later on in the quarter. Benny Sherrano, his younger brother, took a charge in the late half of the second quarter. He ends the first half with 7 points. Bennett Larson dominated inside with 9 points, and Philip Widener with 2 points rounds out the scoring. And Shane Schmidt was also in that starting lineup, but he had an early couple of fouls and saw him in and out there in the first half. For Dickinson Trinity, they're led in scoring so far tonight by their leader of the season, Emerson Simiano. He's got 12 points, and it was fun to watch him and Braylon Sherrano go back and forth there. Maybe you'll see it during these highlights here eventually. And there you see there Simiano. He had hit this one at the buzzer at that point to bring it within single digits heading into quarter number 2. But Simiano, 12 points and a pair of three-pointers here tonight. Brody Kuntz, Landon Note have also hit a three-pointer of their own, and Colton Christensen in on the scoring with 2 points there at the end of the first half. Not a lot of free throw attempts, only one trip to be exact. That went to Bennett Larson, who went for 2 for Beulah. It was a foul-free first quarter. Fouls started to come in the second, but not overall a pretty clean first half when you put the 2 quarters together. There's Simiano with a three-pointer there on your screen. When he was heating up, you see the student section really getting into it on your screen there as well. But a very clean, actually 2 trips to the line. Just missed there the last trip there right before the end of the half where Benny Sherrano went 2 for 2. So Titans have not had a trip there to the charity stripe yet. Beulah's just had the 2. Well, now we take a look at three-pointers. There's on the mark here 3 three-pointers for Beulah as a team, all 3, but with the coming with the players with the last name Sherrano. And for Trinity, they have 4 from downtown, 2 from Simiano, and then Kuntz and Notes also have 1 apiece. Well, let's take a look and thank our great sponsors before we get ready for half number 2. Big shout out to Minot State. The best way to predict your future is to create it with over 100 areas to study. Minot State, you'll earn the degree or the career you desire with more than 96% of recent Minot State grads employed or continuing their education. MSU grads get jobs, period. Minot State University. Be seen, be heard, be you. And Minot State put on the Hoopster Classic and Dale Brown and Hoopster Classic, where you saw Beulah go 0 for 2 with losses against Devils Lake and Fort Wayne on the 29th and 30th. They defeated Rugby at MSU just a couple days before that on the 27th. For the Titans, they were a perfect at the end, they split at MSU with a loss against Fort Wayne and a win against Rugby. Also, big thanks out to BSN. BSN creates exclusive personalized solutions for North Dakota high school and collegiate programs. Custom equipment or uniforms and coaches apparel, fan wear, branding, more. They do it all. Contact your local BSN sales pro today. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we head out of the Sherman O'Carr Center intermission show, and we get you ready for the second half action where Beulah leads on the BNC National Bank scoreboard 29-20.
The foundation of the financial planning approach at Legacy Financial Partners is a personal relationship. Our unique and collaborative approach to financial planning starts with your dreams, not just the numbers. We will work with you regularly to take action to update your plan as your needs evolve, recommending products and services that are right for your situation.
After an exciting first half of action, we are ready for half number 2. Beulah will start with the ball, and they start with the lead, 29-20. Beulah was off to a great start, started this game on an 11-2 run, so jumped up by 9 points early in the first quarter, and that's where they lead. But they've led as high as 11 twice in this game. Trinity has worked it down to 6 as the lowest. Since going down by 11, they worked it down to 6 2 times as well. Braylon Chirado, he started this game off with 2 3-pointers. He'll work it out to younger brother Benny. Benny drives to his right, spins back, a little half spin at the free throw line. Off the rim. Oh, it was either touched on Widener or Christensen. They will say Widener with a big sigh on the Beulah side. They thought that was Christensen, the last one to touch it. But it's Titan basketball either way you cut it. Simiano flips it into Holman. It's a screen from Ham and back to Simiano it goes. He backs up to the tee. Flips it to Note. Christensen. Lots of passing on the perimeter for the Titans. 12 seconds on the play clock. Simiano down to Colton Christensen for 2. We spotlighted him in the pregame show in that post battle with him and Larson, and it has not disappointed. It's been a fun one. Schmidt, who had some early fouls there in the first quarter, so see probably more of him in half number 2. Widener flips it on to Braylon Chirado. He is fouled behind the arc by Landon Note, so that means Braylon Chirado won't just get 1, not 2, but 3 chances at the charity stripe. That one on Landon Note. Braylon Chirado, high arcing, spins in and out. A tough roll there for Braylon Chirado. He was a perfect 4 for 4 in his last game from the free throw line, but we'll start this one with a miss. Before bouncing back with a make, his 11th point on the day. Braylon Chirado averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. An all-region, all-state player last year. He's got a dozen now. And has put them back up by 9 on the BNC National Bank scoreboard, 31-22. Flips it out to Holman. Holman. Over to Simiano. Works to his left. Little mid-range, leaves it short. Ham was well boxed out by Benny Chirado and could not quite haul that one in. So we have a Beulah basketball, and Trinity going to show the press here early in quarter number 3. They'll fade back and just leave Simiano to apply some pressure on Schmidt. Braylon Sherrato running circles, trying to buy away from Note, and he does just enough to get the ball. Gets a half screen from Larson. Cross-court pass from Sherrato to Sherrato. Benny works out of the corner. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Contested by Simiano. Widener, the cleanup crew, gets it for 2. And that's Philip Widener's game. Even though he's just a freshman, he's been doing it. He did last year as an 8th grader as well. Note, fadeaway block from behind. Larson's second block of the contest. Down the court, Widener trying to keep it in, but it sends it right to a Trinity Titan and Christensen. They're up by 11 for the 3rd time today. Titans see if they can try to work down this gap once more. Landon Note for 3, and that's a way to start it. His second 3-ball of the day. Again, he's coming off of back-to-back double-digit performances. He was our X factor to talk about tonight in the pregame show. Brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, and he's got a pair of 3-pointers from downtown. Benny Sherrato, a little step back. That one bounces out. Bennett Larson battling for the board. Simiano runs away with it. They've got numbers, so they hurry to the Titans. Simiano, little mid-range, pulls up, leaves it short. Had the numbers on a 3-on-2 break. Just could not get the mid-range to fall. Braylon Sherrato going to try his hand from behind the arc. And similar story there, going to keep it an 8-point game as the Titans will take a timeout, down by 8 on the BNC National Bank scoreboard, 33-25. Timeout brought to you by First International Bank and Trust.
The Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's going to go. So
Hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved.
Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Timeout brought to you by First International Bank and Trust. They're your full-service, family-owned, independent community bank built on the bond between their employees and customers. Founded in 1910 and growing to serve rural and urban communities across Arizona, Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Find them online at FIBT.com. Timeout was taken by the Titans, who have trailed as much as 11 multiple times in this game. They worked within 8 right now with 4:18 remaining. Here in the third, quick touch passing here. Opens up for Landon Note. Left and short, Simiano sails in but could not get the putback to fall. Braylon to Benny Sherrato, pump fake in the corner. Benny step back at the free throw line, fishes it out to Braylon. Calls for the play. Chest pass to Larson, the 6'7" center. Takes the handoff to Schmidt because he just could not get it to him. Note was all over him. Benny Sherrato back to work, steps back, lobs it up to older brother Braylon. 8 seconds on the shot clock. He's just going to put one up in front of his bench. Held down by Peters, who fires it to Simiano. Kuntz in the near corner. Back to the top of the key to Note. Flips it on the right wing. Kuntz to Note as they go back and forth. Working it now low to Christensen on the baseline. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Both teams taking their time on the shot clock here in the third. Christensen spins out of pressure, flips it to Peters. 5 seconds, Note gonna have to put one up. Skips off the front of the rim. Widener there again to haul it in as the freshman almost averaging a double-double per game, 9 points, 11 rebounds. Braylon Sherrato trying to lose. Kuntz steps it in to Larson, who had his defender help. Defense opens up, could not get the shot, but Widener, another rebound for the freshman, and he will draw the foul. Holman and Ham will check in for the Titans as they say it's on the ground. Christensen is tagged with his third, and he'll take a seat. Not what they want to see is now they give up a little bit more in the paint size-wise as Widener on the little underhand hook could not get it to go. Ham stumbling, gives it right back to Benny Sherrato. Mid-range jumper. Nailed by the sophomore. Benny Shirado's got 9. Back to a double-digit gap. Behind the back dribble there for Simiano. He flips it on to Holman. Holman carves his way in. Now back to the top of the key to Simiano. Peters, top of the mountain, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Little give and go from Simiano back to Peters, and he draws the foul. Foul going to be on Philip Widener on his second. He fouled out in his last game. In back-to-back games, a Beulah minor has fouled out. No one is yet in a maybe dangerous territory at this point yet. But Larson fouled out against Devils Lake in the fourth quarter. Widener fouled out against Four Winds Minnewacan in the fourth quarter in those respective games. Jace Peters goes 1 for 2, and back to single digits we go. Benny to Braylon Shirado. Braylon down to the paint to Widener. Now to Benny. Corner 3, not going to go. Battling for the board with Shane Schmidt, but he didn't come away with the jump ball. Well, make sure you join us in tomorrow on the PSP Network. We've got a lot of fun matchups coming your way. Velva MLS tomorrow, Legacy Century, Minot High, Minot North, and Mandan versus Dickinson in a doubleheader here in the Queen City. Speaking of Dickinson High, a couple of the Dickinson High Mavericks are sitting front row for this matchup just across the way from us. So getting a little watching the team from crosstown here in the Titans, and they'll go into action against Mandan tomorrow. Get you in that matchup right here on the PSP Network as Jace Peters faces the contact, gets the end one. And one for Jace Peters. And just like that, back within a touchdown. Back within 7. He's 1 for 2 at the charity stripe so far today. Jace Peters off the back of the rim. Larson uses his size to his advantage and hauls down the board. Student section starting to get into it, trying to distract Braylon Shirado, who brings the ball down the court. Braylon looks to his left, no one there, looks to the right, no one there, and gets back to the left side to Larson. Again, both of these two teams methodically draining out the shot clock here of much of the third quarter as Shirado loses his footing with some help of a Titan, and they'll tag it on Jordan Ham. His first, team third. Shirado dumps it into Schmidt on the inbound. Now to Benny Shirado at the left wing. Benny sails through with a minute left here in the third. Dumps it into Larson off the glass. Cleanup crew again. Philip Widener. He is just one of those players. He'll battle for every point he gets tonight. And much the same there. Cleans it up for 2. 6 points on the night for Widener. Spinning around is Peters. Peters fires a pass. Nice find to Holman off the glass and in. Beautiful setup and a beautiful bucket as Holman gets his first. First bucket of the night for Holman comes at the way here of the third quarter. They're going to hold to the last shot. Is Beulah once again. 10 seconds remaining before we head to the fourth. Braylon Shirado dumps it in. Philip Widener off the glass and in. And that will do it for the third as Beulah keeps it a 9-point gap. They went into the third up by 9. They exit the third up by 9. Fourth quarter coming your way on the PSP Network when we return.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Every football fan has their Sunday routine. Maybe it's setting your lineup, firing up the grill, or claiming your spot on the couch. But the center of every Sunday is the drive. The morning drive home before kickoff. The drive to your buddy's watch party. Wherever you're headed, we can take you there.
Off and running here in quarter number 4. This game has fluctuated a lot both ways. That Benny Sherrato has given them their biggest lead in the ballgame. I was just going to say it's never been higher than 11. But now it is, as Beulah's up by a dozen for the first time today. Landon Note trying to look for a quick response. Again, this game has fluctuated from 11-point to a 6-point gap pretty much the entirety of this one. Simiano, a little hard off the back iron. Couple of Titans racing for it as Ham had to run up about 6 or 7 rows up the bleachers. And now he'll be checked out. Coming off for Brady Holman, who will check in for him. 12-point difference as Beulah trying to put their pedal to the metal. They saw their last two games kind of get away from them in the fourth quarter, excuse me. Seeing if they can just close this one out. Not only is it a region game, but trying to get back into that top 5 in the state category in Class A, which they've been in much of the year except this week after a pair of losses right before the new year against some of the other top teams in the state. Jace Peters whips that one off the right side of the rim. Braylon Sherrato walks up the court, spins to his left. Now lays it to Larson, who hands it to Widenhood. A big-time third quarter for Beulah. Back to Braylon Sherrato. Pump fake. He buys enough. Separation to drain. A three-pointer for Braylon Sherrato, his third three-pointer. A timeout to be taken. Brought to you by First International Bank and Trust. We'll take one with you.
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
Big thanks out to Farstead Oil. Contact Farstead Oil today to find out how their skilled sales team can help you achieve your wholesale fuel, mobile lubricants, and DEF needs. Proudly serving North Dakota, Montana, Western Minnesota since 1938. With outstanding customer service and reliability. Farstead Oil. Couple score checks around Region 4 tonight. Shiloh Christian going to pick up the win, 62-44 against Killdeer. Just a minute left in that one. And Hazen leads over Newtown heading into the fourth quarter, 51-39. Again, Killdeer, Shiloh Christian, as well as Beulah, all were receiving votes here this week, representing Region 4. Peters tries to lob it into Christensen, just too much behind the lob pass. It gets away from him and out of play it goes. It's been just consistency for Beulah here tonight. It was just a hot start, really, that really got them in the right direction in that first quarter. And since then, they have just not looked back. They've seen the Titans inch closer at points, but then it was foot right back on the gas pedal. And they've got their biggest lead of the ball game here right now with 5:50 on the board. Sherrato Flips it into Larson at the free throw line. Dumps it in. Widener reverse layup for 2. Philip Widener's got 10 points. And he has been kind of that go-to guy right now here in the second half. It was the Shirados in half number 1, and now it's kind of been Widener here in the second. Christensen just going to put one up and over. Larson, nice bucket there for Christensen. He's got 6. You saw in the first half, the shot clock didn't really come into play, and here in the second half, it has come to play pretty much every time both these two teams have touched the ball. Just limiting possessions of their opponents, and that is what it's been. And for Beulah, with the lead, they're trying to win it on the clock management side. Braylon Chirado in the corner, just going to have to put one up. Almost goes at the buzzer. It hits the rim, so it will refresh the shot clock. And the Beulah Miners wanting the fans to get into it. Some get on their feet. They like the effort there by their crew. Shane Schmidt for 3. In and out, and Widener almost gets the ball again, but he's cut off by Note. Brody Kuntz for 3. A corner 3 for Brody Kuntz on the answer back. He's got 6 points, a pair of 3 balls. Another timeout, this one by the Titans. We'll be back in 30.
Passed away. He was 63 years old and he passed away of a heart attack. At the urging of my wife, she had been asking for years that I get a heart screening. Dr. Mertz did not hesitate to order a test for me. Dr. Canver, there are 8 billion people in this world and there's only one person in the world that has held onto my heart physically, and that's Dr. Canver. It makes you know that if there is an issue, what better place is there to be?
Welcome back in. Big thanks out to ServPro. 24/7 emergency service, trained technicians, advanced technology, fire, water, cleanup, and restoration. It's ServPro. Also, big thanks out to the Aggie Foundation. You can vote each week for the player performance of the week. There was our nominees this week. Dawson Gus, Ty Barman out of Ray, Jordan Root out of Bismarck High, Lee Bell out of Minot High, and Easton Bradley out of Minot United. Again, vote each Monday, and the winners will be announced Thursday or Friday there. We'll put out on social media. So there you go, and maybe we'll see one of these athletes here in this contest be one of our Player Performance of the Week nominees for next week. So stay tuned there on the PSP Network socials, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter. Braylon Chirado works it to Benny. In the far corner, he'll peel out of it. And great clock management here for Beulah. Benny Chirado spins into the paint, not gonna go. Hauled down with both hands by Christensen. Big possession here for the Titans, especially how Beulah's milking the clock. You need to make the most of every possession if you're Trinity right now to try to fight your way back in. Christensen in the paint, mid-range jumper brought down by Philip Widener. His pass out of bounds. Larson could not quite get it, corral that one with his right hand. He tried everything with his wingspan, the 6'7" wingspan, to try to reel that one in, but just could not. And the Titans have that second chance here on this possession. Handed on maybe a silver platter, trying to work their way back in the game. Simiano double teamed off the glass and in. Simiano scored 12 points in the first half. He was scoreless to this point in the second half. He's got 14 tonight, and they have now cut it back within 10. And the fourth quarter has been tough the last couple of games for Beulah. Seeing, though, if they can survive and pick up a Region 4 win here tonight. Benny Chirado trying to give some insurance late. Can't get the deep ball. Brody Kuntz shows his speed in the corner. Landon Note, 4-3. Give it to him. A huge 3 for Landon Note, his third deep ball of the game. They've worked it into 7. The student section standing up in the final 2 minutes. As Peters called on the foul. I know we mentioned it before, but Beulah, they were in a tight game against Devils Lake just a couple of weeks ago. They were trailing in the fourth. They fell by, but it was 3 points. Then against Four Winds, they were up late in the final minutes of that game, but saw that one follow or just slip through their fingers and see Mariel Dang win it with 2 impressive shots at the end for Four Winds. Beulah trying to stop that fourth quarter trend, but the Titans making it hard. They were down by, I think, 15 in the fourth quarter. They've worked it within 7. Braylon to Benny Shirato, a clutch 3 for the sophomore. And that might be the biggest shot of the ball game, as the Titans were feeling it, and Benny Shirato might have just iced it. Well, not say that he iced it yet, because the Titans have had a very impressive fourth quarter. This game started at a 9-point difference here in the going into the fourth. Then Beulah went up as high as 15. Dickinson works it down to 7, and now a huge three-pointer by Benny Shirato, and here it is on your screen, brought to you by Ryan Family Dealerships. Again, bringing you all the highlights today. For 50 years, Ryan has been a trusted name for car buyers in western North Dakota. Shop their entire inventory. DriveRyan.com. Visit one of their 5 locations in Minot and in Williston. And right there, as it sits, that very well could be your Spas Etc. move of the game. With that big-time three-pointer. Because if that possession goes away, Dickinson could have came down. If they hit a 3, it was bring it right down into that mark where it's anyone's ball game down the stretch. Free throws could be important as well, depending on how this all plays out. But this possession might be the biggest. At least it is as of now for the Titans. And there's a foul on Beulah. Well, Beulah's got a couple of fouls to give as well, so they could just play that way as well. They've got 3 more to give safely without putting the Titans into bonus. So you can just use them at whatever point you want. Christensen, contested shot. He's got it. Christensen's got 8 points. Titans not giving up without a fight. Beulah leads on the BNC National Bank scoreboard 50-42 when we return.
Spas Etc. is excited to introduce the addition of the Master Spas line, including the Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Enjoy the relaxing health benefits and enjoy 0% financing up to 72 months or up to $5,000 off on all spas and swim spas. You'll also find $2,000 off the MSRP on all pools and saunas. Come check out the outstanding lineup of Master Spas at Spas Etc.
Big thanks out to Bones Barbecue Sauce, a true North Dakota original, created and bottled right here in North Dakota. This premium barbecue sauce, perfect on anything from ribs to burgers, even vegetables. Buy today at your local grocery store, Cashwise Marketplace, and Family Fare. It's Bones Barbecue Sauce. Well, the Titans not going away without a fight. They've trailed multiple times by 11. They've trailed as high as 15, let alone in this fourth quarter. But they have still stayed right in the thick of it. Lots of pressure. Braylon Shirato, did he step out of bounds? No, it's a foul on Landon Note, I believe, is going to be the guilty party. Him and Jace Peters in on the double team. As the Titans have a couple of fouls to have to try to work out quickly. And they're going to throw in Alonzo Kudernut, maybe to try to eat some up with these fouls here as he checks in for the first time today. Jordan Ham will check out. Again, we'll need 3 more fouls to put them in to bonus. And Peters will foul Larson there. Almost ran right by him. Had to hit the brakes. We'll get a piece of Larson there as Peters gets his second. 2 more to get into bonus. And for Beulah, it's just trying to quickly run away and kill some time. And now Landon Note waited a couple seconds to eventually foul him as he looks over to Greg Grinsteiner as head coach. I think Greg was hoping that they could have got that foul a little quicker as Landon Note with his 4th. 1 more, and that'll be the end of the day for Note, and they need 1 more to send Beulah into bonus free throws. Benny Shirato into a double team, and they'll just get a timeout. Brought to you by First International Bank and Trust. Just in time by Brandon Shirato. We'll stay with you right here, and again, we will take a look at the schedule. I mean, a lot of great games tonight on the PSP Network, but a lot of great games again tomorrow. Boys Hoops, Velva, MLS in Class B. Then you've got a fair share of AA games inside the WDA. 3 doubleheaders we'll have for you. Legacy, Century, Minot High, Minot North. The battle there in the Magic City, and the battle in the Capital City as well. And then one we'll have here in the Queen City. Mandan versus Dickinson. That's starting 5:45 Mountain Time with the girls. Brace Gutnick will be joining us on the call for that one. So it should be a fun time for that doubleheader. And again, we talked about it. The boys for DHS are here tonight, as you can see them right there by Shane Schmidt. That's the DHS boys team, all sitting down on the first row. They're going to be playing Mandan, what is billed to be a very fun basketball game. One of the better defenses inside the WDA versus one of the best offenses inside the WDA. So it should be a fun one there. Landon Note is the one to take that 5th foul, so he will foul out. Landon Note ends the day with 9 points. All 3 of his buckets were behind the arc. As Benny Shirato, his first of 2, as it comes down to a quiet sound here in Trinity High School. First one is good for Shirato. He hit one of the biggest 3-pointers in this ball game here in the 3rd, and he'll go 1 for 2 at this trip. Here comes Kuntz. Flips it to Simiano. Who's it last touched on? It'll say Schmidt. He's the one that had his hand in the passing lane. As the Titans make a sigh of relief. You never know on those 50-50 calls of who's it last touched on for them. It still keeps them in it. Giving them this ball. As Shane Schmidt, smart foul. As again, they've got had 3 fouls to give. So might as well just not give the Titans drain some time and not give them any time to really set up here. As Cooper Martin checks in for the first time today. They've seen him late down the stretch in games as a pivotal defender, and no different in this one. Simiano to Christensen. Brody Kuntz, top of the key, 3, loose ball. Martin, who just checked in, wins the race, and he's headed to the charity stripe as Brady Holman in on the foul with 36 seconds left. So Cooper Martin averaging about a half a point per game. He's an excellent defender. They bring him in when those crucial need a defensive stand. Does this for the sophomore. Last year averaged around 6 points per game at JV. And the first one, silky smooth for Martin. Puts them back up by 10. Second one is just as good as the first one. Martin comes in, helps on the defensive stand, comes away with a couple of free throws, and just like that, they're back up by 11. Titans, though, they haven't quit all game, and they're going to continue to try to battle to the whistle or to the end of the buzzer. Draws another foul. It's going to be the 3rd on Philip Widener. And they've got 1 more to give if they want to, but that's going to shut off the shot clock. And I think this one's probably going to be depending on how this Titan possession goes, comes up empty-handed, then that'll be probably the ball game. Maybe if they hit a three, that'll be maybe where we continue to play the foul game, but we'll have to wait and see. Brody Kuntz, a little heavy on the three-pointer. Braylon Chirado, if he exits with the ball, it's game over, and he does. Works it to Shane Schmidt. Now the play keep away for a second, but I think Grinsteiner's going to call back the squad. I think he was going to, but a late foul there for the Titans. Standing ovation for the Beulah Minor faithful that made the trip. Quite a few of them packing this side of the stands that we're on here. BSP Network, Braylon Chirado going to ice it out and maybe affect the final score on the BNC National Bank scoreboard. Will not change the final result. A new crew of Miners will come out, and they'll give a second standing ovation for the starters of Beulah. Hey, there's a reason they're ranked much of the year in the media polls. Would not be surprised if they make their way back into it shortly. After falling out this week, Chirado goes 2 for 2. Simiano drives in, draws a foul, and the score could change one more time before we call this one final. As that is going to be Owen Zeman, his first after checking in. Emerson Simiano rattles one home for his 15th point on the night. That's a team high. He's led the Titans in scoring so far this season in the early going. And Simiano goes a perfect 2 for 2. And we'll end with Benny Chirado dribbling it out as Beulah ends their 2-game skid with a big Region 4 win, taking down the Titans, who run a 2-game winning streak, 55-44. And that will be the end of this Region 4 duel here on the PSP Network. When we come back, the Sherman O'Carr Center post-game show coming your way when we return.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Our stylists are trained to understand the nuances of cutting men's hair. Less pomp, more adore, huh, Brittany?
Square face, wavy hair.
Mid-fade with a textured top. Finish it off with a hard part and taper that neckline, coach.
Cowlick, what's the move? It's not just all about hard work here.
Hit all. 7. Pressure. Points. Yeah.
It takes expertise to be a sport clip stylist.
Here?
That's the spot. Right there, huh?
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
And that's going to do it for the final. Beulah 55, Trinity 44. As let's head on over to the Charbonneau Car Center post-game show. And as we started on the post-game show, let's roll on some game highlights here to wrap things up for you to watch visually as we talk about what happened in this one. It all started off, as you'll see here early on with these highlights, Beulah just jumped off to such a really just outstanding start in this one. All led early on by Braylon Sherrato. He had 10 points in the first quarter, but he had the early 2 3-pointers back-to-back to get them rolling in the right direction. They quickly went up on an 11-2 run, and they were up 17-9 at the end of the first quarter. Trinity was able to work the gap from 11 to 6 points multiple times in this game. They would not give up and showed a lot of fight, and it was something where Beulah had to play a perfect game through. I mean, it was not going to be an easy night for Beulah. They knew how the Titans play, and it was one of those things where Beulah had that early lead that was built. They were able to kind of maintain it, at points build it. Sometimes they saw it almost kind of thin away at points, but they led from the jump all the way through, and at half up 29-20. They entered the third up by 9. They exited by 9. And the fourth quarter was a very interesting fourth quarter there, to say the least. Beulah jumped up by 15 points in that fourth quarter. Then you saw Dickinson Trinity have almost all the momentum in the world. They brought it within 7. The fans were into it. The students were into it. And you just felt that if Trinity could get a stop or 2 more without giving up a point, they were in that game, and at that point they were pretty much in that game, but maybe just needing one more stop to fully need in that game, and just could not quite get that that stop when they needed to. It was a very timely Benny Sherrato 3-pointer to nail that one, and that's where it would end. Sherrato hits a couple other points and a couple free throws to end it. 55-44, the final score. The sophomore Benny Sherrato led the way with 18 points, 3 3-pointers. Older brother Braylon had 15 points and 3 3-pointers of his own. Then you had Bennett Larson, 9 points, all came in the first half. Philip Widener, 10 points, 6 of them came in the third quarter. And Cooper Martin ends the day with 2 off the bench. And a total of 6 3-pointers, all by the Sherratos. For Trinity, Emerson Simiano led the way with 16 points, 2 3-pointers, perfect 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. Brody Kuntz with 6 points, Brady Holman with 2. Landon Note, 3 3-pointers with 9 points. Jace Peters had 3, and Colton Christensen with 8, 6 3-pointers as a whole for Dickinson Trinity. So that is going to be the final in that one. Beulah's scoring by the quarter, 17 in the first, and then it was 12, 10, and 16 for Dickinson Trinity, 9, 11, 10, and 14. So pretty much every quarter saw both teams score double digits, except that first quarter where Trinity was just 1 point shy of the double-digit mark. But a very competitive game throughout there. You saw it where Beulah had that big 15-point lead that you'll start kind of seeing there as we continue on. Actually, it went as high as 17. There you go. But just a back-and-forth performance goes the way of the Beulah Miners. Taking a look here before this wraps up on the highlights here. We'll let them continue to run. Final scores there in Region 4 tonight. Shiloh Christian defeats Killdeer 62-44. And Hazen over Newtown 71-47. Well, here is what we'll take out of here, because that is going to be our move of the game. Brought to you by Magic City Home and Leisure. And here it is now on your high-end family dealership instant replay. It was all momentum Dickinson Trinity in that final quarter until Benny Shirato nails the three to go back up by double digits, and that's where it would stand, 55-44. So there is your move of the game. And now we go to the MVP of the game, brought to you by Sports Clips. Sports Clips brings you the MVP of the matchup. Sports Clips, home of the MVP haircut experience. Nothing comes close to making you feel like an MVP, quite like the MVP experience at Sports Clips. Tonight's Sports Clips game MVP going to the sophomore Benny Shirato, 18 points, 3 3-pointers, and he had maybe the biggest three-pointer of the day there, again, to ice it out on the move of the game and hit some timely free throws on the night as well to ice it for Beulah, 55-44. That's going to do it for this one. Beulah 55, Trinity 44. There's your games tomorrow. Mandan, Dickinson, Minot High, Minot North, Legacy, Century, all AA double headers, and Valva MLS in a boys hoops matchup as well in Class B. Well, that is going to do it for myself, Brock Widener. Big thanks out to all our sponsors. Big thanks out to our cameraman, Zach Sprague. Great job, as always. That's going to do it for us here at Dickinson Trinity High School. Again, tune in for more hoops here, North Dakota Hoops, tomorrow on the PSP Network. Until then, have yourself a great night.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by Make sure to like and follow PSP Network on all social media.